All right, and we are live. Welcome, DoorGrow hackers, to the DoorGrow Show. If you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors, make a difference, increase revenue, help others, impact lives, and you are interested in growing your business and life, and you are open to doing things a bit differently, then you are a DoorGrow hacker. DoorGrow hackers love the opportunities, daily variety, unique challenges, and freedom that property management brings. Many in real estate think you're crazy for doing it. You think they're crazy for not, because you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management businesses and their owners. We want to change the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. I'm your host, property management growth expert, Jason Hull, the founder and CEO of DoorGrow. Now, let's get into the show. And today, my guest is Shawn Johnson of Independence Capital Property Management. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. So, Shawn, we're going to be getting into the topic today of profitability before more doors. And when I mentioned that before the show, you're like, yes, the cart before the horse. So let's get into that. But first, I want to give people a little bit of background on you. So I've got your bio here, and I'm going to read this, and then maybe you can kind of introduce yourself. So Shawn grew up in Aztec, New Mexico. After completion of his associate's degree from Glendale Community College, Shawn began flight school in Scottsdale, Arizona. Shawn's career as a helicopter pilot provided opportunities to fly internationally into Mexico, offshore into the Gulf of Mexico, and as an EMS helicopter pilot. Shawn currently flies for the San Juan County Sheriff's Office as an instructor pilot in his spare time. Property manager with spare time, Shawn. Does that exist? All right. So Shawn began his career in real estate in 2013 and has been investing in real estate since 2003. Shawn is currently a professional member of the National Association of Residential Property Managers and has earned his Residential Management Professional (RMP) designation. In 2017, he served as the NARPM Albuquerque Metro Chapter President and has been elected to serve at the 2020 Chapter President. Shawn enjoys golf, baseball, hunting, and fishing. And he apparently is also connected with lots of really lengthy phrases and titles, including his business name. So
no kidding, right?
so Shawn, tell everybody, give us a little bit of background, like who's Shawn and how did you get into property management, so people can understand, like, why should they listen to this guy say anything? So
How did I get into property management? It's kind of by default. My wife pulled me into it. She was a corporate paralegal for a large investment firm in California.
mm-hmm.
And in that process, we moved, had kids and we moved to New Mexico. And she decided, you know what, I think there's a need here. There is definitely a need. And we started a management company. I was still flying helicopters at the time, but she's like, you know what, I can't do it alone. You got to get out of the fun job and get into the stressful job. And so I quit flying and yeah, here I am.
And you've regretted it ever since, right?
No, I actually really enjoy it.
Good.
Your introduction to property management is spot on. I think there's so much gold in it. And it's just really creating value for people. I really enjoy it. So yeah. And it's a nice end to investing in properties. I love investing in properties. And this is like the golden ticket to find new properties.
You know, property managers and everyone in the industry love to joke about how hard the industry is, but there is this passion for it that everyone seems to develop. And I think, you know, happiness comes not through avoiding problems and challenges. It comes through finding challenges that are exciting to work on. And I think property management is never dull.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's never dull, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right. So you're now in the adventure of property management. So let's get into this topic. So why is it important to have profitability before focusing on getting more doors?
Yeah, I think for us, it was always a mission to be profitable right off the start. You know, we were back in the day, we were just a management fee company. And we felt like because of that, we were limited in the growth. And so we had to find ways to make money and compensate our employees appropriately. We live in a very blue collar but town that is oil and gas driven, and the salaries are very hard to compete with. And so we had to find ways to compensate them so that they weren't pulled away from property management into oil and gas industry. So those are things that was important to us. But besides all that, I mean, if you're not a profitable company, you can't create value, I don't think, for the community that you serve. You just can't. You have to have money to be able to grow and expand and introduce new programs into your business. So that was our mission right at the beginning.
So because you're competing with oil and gas for staff resources in your market, you've had to probably have a higher salary base than what would be typical for most management companies in most markets.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
And so in order to do that, you've probably had to get a little bit innovative. Anytime we have a constraint as an entrepreneur, we have a challenge like that to overcome, we have to innovate. And so why don't you share with us kind of what were some of the steps you took to create a space that you could afford to have really good team members?
Sure. We created really one step was to create an incentivized comp plan. And our property managers are licensed real estate brokers, but we pay them off a percentage as the whole of the portfolio. So not just a management fee. So anytime they bring in a late fee or an annual inspection that's performed on the property, then they get a portion of that fee as well. So that helped us to increase their annual revenue as well, because it hurts when they lose a property, and when we get a new property on, it actually helps them gain their salary as well. So,
okay, yeah. So you've basically created a natural incentive for them to help facilitate growth and to help successfully manage the company. And if the company does better, they do better.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, that's right.
Now, I find that a lot of people, especially those that on a DISC profile that are not DI, that don't have a high economic score, they're not super motivated by additional money. As entrepreneurs, we tend to naturally think everyone's like us, like they love money. But those individuals that are not motivated by more money are more motivated by recognition. And
Sure.
so when you pick these team members and you're giving them, you have this comp plan, are you looking for people that also kind of operate somewhat in a BDM role? Are they more of a sales driven type of person? Are they kind of a DI DISC personality type, or more on the extroverted side?
Yeah. So no, we actually don't want to mix those two, like a BDM, in a portfolio management. And you're right. A lot of people are not motivated financially like entrepreneurs are. But what we found is giving unlimited vacation time, some perks to the business, having the ability to work from home wherever they are. Everything that we do is electronic and digital anyway. So those perks, and a lot of them are young parents, and if they need to pick up their kid at school at 3:00, who am I to say? As long as your job is done and you're doing it effectively, then we don't put constraints on that. So I think that pulls in that attraction to the job. So
yeah, I found those to be huge incentives for similar running our virtual team, is being able to work virtually and work from home, having flex time, like being able to kind of set your own schedule, and as long as you're getting work done, and being able to take vacations when you need to and want to, that's huge. People want freedom and they want autonomy, and that tends to attract, I think, the more entrepreneurial people we would like in our business that are more driven. So, and that makes sense. And I think to what you were saying, yeah, it makes sense. The BDM portfolio thing would be segregated, but also that allows you in your market to have compensation that is on par with maybe what they might be getting in the oil and gas industry, or at least competitive, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say that our salaries, once they have a full portfolio, they're making as much, if not more, than what they would get comped in the oil and gas industry. So, which is good. That's what we want. So,
Right. And in the oil and gas industry, they probably don't have some of those other perks, I would imagine. That
oh,
you're
not at
discussing.
all.
Yeah. Okay.
Not at all.
All right. So you've made your business intentionally competitive to maintain good people. Okay. And so let's get deeper into the profitability aspect. So how, since you're paying more money for people, how do you make sure this is profitable?
Sure. Yeah, I think that we really evaluated the things that we did it as a business beyond just the normal management stuff. What are the value adds that we do every day, and if they are a true value add, can we add an associated value add fee to it? And we kind of looked at it that way. We went through Darren Hunter's program, and it was phenomenal. It definitely revolutionized the way we thought about our fee structure,
Mm-hmm.
but it also helped us think about and be cautious of those clients that are cost conscious. And if they are, and all they care about is the cost of the service, then they may not be the right fit. So that it naturally brings in the right type of clientele when you have a fee structure beyond just a flat fee and everybody else is doing the same flat fee or whatever, percentage fee. So that was huge for us. And as far as profitability goes, I think we average around, it varies in the leasing season, but in our leasing season, we're about 44% profitability. So leasing fees and, lease renewal fees, those things that have to happen in a property management business, but to actually gain a revenue from it is extremely important. I could look at our business structure and see that, yeah, we have a leasing fee and we have a lease renewal fee, but my competitors lease homes in twice the amount of time that we do, and they don't push for lease renewals. So me as an investor, I'd be upset if they didn't try to keep my tenants in a lease, especially through the winter time. It's such a cyclical business, and we have seasons, and you don't want it to go vacant in December. So
Yeah.
That little fee is nothing compared to having a vacant home in those times.
Yeah.
So.
What other fees did you guys start to identify and add going through this process?
Yeah, we did a lease administration fee for our tenants. That was pretty big. The annual inspection fees, and that's a third-party vendor that we actually hire through. That's an actual inspector, and he'll come and inspect the houses on an annual basis, and there's a little upcharge for that. A year-end statement fee. We found that our controller was just spending a ton of time preparing for the year-end stuff and making sure everything was square to send off to our clients' accountants, and so we incorporated a fee in that. And then a maintenance coordination fee. Our maintenance coordinators, we have one, and we just hired a new one, so we have two now, and they're just super busy. Coordinating maintenance is a huge task, and it's such an important one here. So we do have a small fee for that. And there's probably a bunch more. I'm not in the day-to-day as much anymore, so I'm kind of not thinking of the big ones. But I mean, obviously the bulk ones were a leasing fee and a lease renewal. Those are big, and they're often overlooked. So
okay, cool. So one of the things you did then was you identified all the different situations in which it was taking extra time, extra energy, extra effort, and you weren't getting paid anything extra. And then just started systematically saying, hey, can we add a fee to ensure that we're getting compensated for this additional work to make sure that your business is profitable?
sure.
Okay. So, and we've got somebody watching that says, can you list the fees again? So I had down leasing fee, a lease renewal fee, lease administration fee, annual inspection fee, year-end statement fee, and a maintenance coordination fee.
Those are the big ones. Kelly, reach
Okay.
out to me. I will give you the list.
Slow it down. Kelly, you can rewatch this many times, right?
Right.
So this is being recorded, and it's also on Facebook. All right. So okay, cool. And also for those watching this later, we have full transcription when this comes out on iTunes, and you can check that out on our blog at DoorGrow.com. So, all right. So cool. So Shawn, let's get into other ways in which you've made this profitable. So obviously increasing fees. You weren't able to decrease costs with staff. You actually this allowed you to increase costs with staff. Were there any cost savings things that you were able to implement?
Cost savings, probably just technology and trying to not be super labor intensive. I would say that, doing things like move in, move out videos instead of like running through an entire list on paper and whatnot takes a little bit less time than doing it on paper. So those types of things is just efficiencies in the office. And then we set up our team like literally to work from anywhere. If you're on vacation and you want to check on a lease or whatever, it's possible. It's super helpful. And those things help with driving costs down because you're not focusing on the, hey Johnny, back at the office, can you reach me that file? And that's just a waste of time. So
what are some of the things you've done to enable and facilitate this transition from being just a brick and mortar business that operates on SneakerNet, where everybody's walking into each other's offices saying, hey, do you have this, to being a virtual team that they can work from basically anywhere?
Yeah, I think, the big things are softwares that enable cloud access. So our general office is on G Suite. Everything operates through there. And then our processes are through Process Street, which is super helpful and can be accessed anywhere. Again, AppFolio for our software. They're super tech savvy as far as online stuff. I wish they'd open their API. So that's my shout out to them.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Okay.
Imagine you have. But yeah, really. And then Ring Central, we have a team in Mexico and I've got a team member in the Philippines, and they literally can call from our our office in Farmington, New Mexico. And then we have another Flagstaff office as well. And it's so easy because they can pick up their phone and it acts like they're dialing from their desk. So that was a key point we had to set up 6 years ago, which was kind of, back then it wasn't real heard of, so.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, I use all of those software, or have in the past, except AppFolio, because
don't need that.
But yeah, we've had Process Street on the show. Great interview for those listening. I recommend you check it out. And G Suite, we're a Google Apps reseller, so if people need help with that, we can certainly help you get set up. And then we used Ring Central for several years. We eventually switched to TalkRoute because we found that most of our team weren't doing a whole lot of calling on our team. And if they did, they had unlimited cell phone minutes. So TalkRoute just allows you the auto attendant and the call routing and the extensions, but they can dial through the TalkRoute app out of their phone, and then it just uses their cell phone minutes. So it's free basically.
Nice.
For the outbound calls. So we, and it can also receive text messages. So we switched to TalkRoute and probably saved ourselves about $400 or $500 a month. So
that's big. I love it.
It's pretty big. So, So, okay, cool. So this is, I think, really interesting to those listening. So what are some other things you focused on then to facilitate profitability? You've got the fees, you're paying your team well so you can compete. You've got, you're leveraging technology. You've set up your team to be more virtual, which I think is scary for a lot of property managers. They've been doing things a certain way. Anything else?
Yeah. So what I would say is like tap into your current client base. You probably have a ton of really loyal clients, and don't forget to just really push out your new fee structure and justify those fees. Believe in what you're charging to those current clients. We found that when we switched over to a new fee structure, hardly anybody left at first. We had like 12 clients leave on our first push. And we found that those 12 clients were probably 12 good clients to leave.
Out of how many clients? So
we were at 614 at the time. So 12 left.
Okay.
We had a second push though, and we did this in phases because you have to be really sensitive to homes that are vacant. You don't want to increase fees on somebody that has a vacant home. That's a stressful time already. You certainly don't want to increase fees on a client that has not been in your portfolio for less than a year. They don't really know and trust you yet. They haven't built that loyalty for you. So don't touch those yet. But then once those are, segment those out and you found the client base that you really want to, go after, then do it. And, don't just send out an email and hope that they sign a new agreement. You got to follow up. And if you don't follow up, they're just not going to believe in what you're trying to do. So make sure that you follow through with all of that. I know I've heard of people, hey, I increased my fees and I sent out this email. I got no response. And I'm like, well, did you do anything else besides that? Because you got to call them. You got to pick up the phone and just talk them through. It's kind of a scary thing. I just had a fee increase from one of the vendors that we use at our business, and I was like, "What the heck?" My initial reaction was like, "What the heck is going on?" And then they talked me through, and I was like, "You know what? It's all good. We're happy with you guys. We're going to move forward. It's all good." You know what I mean? So, and I think that's most people.
Yeah. So have a conversation. So, and if you're looking for kind of the process that you went through or that Darren Hunter kind of outlines, we've had him on the show before a few times. So check out the episodes with Darren Hunter. Great content. He gave a lot away here on the show. You can check that out. I just saw him actually in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Where I was
awesome.
speaking, which was cool. So, and really 12 out of 614. I mean, that's like maybe 2%. I mean,
yeah, that was the first push. We did lose more the second round, and I think there was probably a total number of like 65. I can't remember exactly that left, but our profitability went up. So,
right, yeah. So you lose 10%, but you're making more money. Then not such a big deal. So yeah, it kind of cuts off and usually those are the worst properties in your portfolio. So what tends to happen then is you increase your revenue, you lose your profit, you lose a little bit of clientele, but you're also losing the ones that take up the most amount of time typically. And those particular doors probably have 10 times the higher operational costs than a good door. And so you're really, by losing that pile in your portfolio, you're gaining room to manage a lot more and you're gaining a lot more leverage. And so your profitability probably goes up even more because your operational costs go down significantly by cutting out the most challenging and most micromanagey and most price sensitive, owners and that are the most challenging properties. So
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So hopefully people are a little bit sold on this idea. Hey, maybe I could increase my fees. Yeah. Okay. Because I do believe that property management businesses in general are not charging enough. They really deserve to be paid well for what they do. They provide a really valuable service. And I feel like the industry, there's been this false scarcity that's been created by marketers, focused on SEO and pay-per-click and these sort of things where it feels like it's difficult to grow. It feels scarce, but there's 70% self-managing in single family residential. There's like tons of blue ocean. There's tons of opportunity. The scarcity is false. It really doesn't exist. And so for those listening, if you feel like things are scarce, we should have a conversation because we can get you out of that mode of scarcity so that you feel safer and more comfortable raising your fees and your rates because, I believe that's a false perception that doesn't need to exist in the industry. And it creates a problem for the entire industry.
Yep.
This sense of scarcity, it creates this competition that I don't think really needs to be there. Really the industry as a whole needs to be building each other up and helping each other out. And you've seen that being involved in NARPM.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. NARPM's big on that.
Yeah. So Shawn, this has been really helpful. Any other takeaways or things that you've kind of explored in your journey to make your business more profitable, to grow your company?
Yeah. So, I think most people get a little scared because like the competition, and they're worried about raising their fees. Let me just tell you that our competitors don't charge anything besides a straight 10, whatever management fee. So I almost said the fees. So I don't know if that was against the rules or something like that, but
I'm not a property manager. So I guess you and I can talk about it, but someone else might hear it.
Right.
but we're not colluding. We're not colluding.
We are
Nobody else should
not
charge what
colluding.
he charges.
Right. And
So,
so, yeah, so just don't be fearful of that. I think that if you're truly creating a value for your customers and clients,
mhm.
that is irrelevant. That people are willing to pay for good service and good experiences. So, and I would say, like, just to mention on what you said, it has a natural, when you raise your fees, it has a natural thing that happens, that you get rid of the lower end properties. The lower end properties cost you more money, they cost you more time, they cost you more stress, and they cost you more employees. They will burn out on the low end properties. And once you bring on nicer properties and you keep to a standard, they're willing to pay the higher fees and get better service, and it naturally increases your profits. So that's a big win for us.
Awesome. Well, Shawn, it sounds like you're doing some great things in Farmington, New Mexico. And and did you ever think you would just end up in Farmington, New Mexico?
Yeah, that's the thing about New Mexico. It's the land of entrapment. I know we say in, but like, it just brings you back. I've lived all over the country, and yeah, just it's a good place to raise a family. So
Awesome.
yeah,
All right. Well, Shawn, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your insight, and I wish you continued success.
thank you, Jason. Appreciate your time.
All right. So, if you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors and make a difference, then maybe we should have a conversation. So, reach out. Um, eh, there is a lot of opportunity in the industry to grow a property management business right now. I think we're on the cusp of a wave. I think the industry is going to blossom and grow. There's a lot of big and good things happening when it comes to technology, when it comes to software, when it comes to awareness. And we would love to be part of facilitating that journey with you. So, and I would love the opportunity to be your coach in your business. So reach out to DoorGrow, and let's start with the conversation. And I will give you a free training on some of the secrets and tips. I call it DoorGrow secrets on how you can avoid some of the most common pitfalls that prevent growth. Just reach out and say, "Hey, I want DoorGrow secrets," and you might find it so interesting. I get so excited you'll want to work with us. So, and that's my hope. So we will talk with you all soon to everyone's mutual growth. Bye, everyone.